All right, class. So we're going to learn a really good strategy on how to draw shadows. So if we were to have this on paper, this is the strategy that we will use. We would use our pencil. So we will just the eraser part and we will point it in the sun. And then we will point our pencil or our lead, we will point it towards the object so that we can draw the shadow. And remember, the shadow has to be on the floor. So it has to be below the horizon, which is right here, this line. So this is how we will do it if we have it on paper, but we're going to practice it also on Pear Deck, how we will do it digitally as well. All right, so first and foremost, the first thing that we have to do is we have to label where's the west and where's the east. A really good way to remember where's the west and where's the east, you kind of have to remember that when you look at the object, you kind of go, wee. That's a really good way to remember it. So you write a west or a W, west, and the other side is the east side. And so that's what I'm talking about for we. And as you get better at it, you can just do the W and the E. But since we're starting with our cardinal points, I'm just gonna write the whole word, west and east. So remember, we. And as we saw in our lesson, our sun goes from east to west. So remember our song that we did, the sun goes across the sky. So we do an E because the sun is rising in the east. And then as we move it, we're going to go like that. So it's now the west. And a good way to remember that is like the sun likes to do ew. So like it goes from east to west, ew. It's a good way to remember it. All right, so we're gonna now add the times. So I'm gonna write here, and about give or take summer or winter is a little bit different, but I'm gonna put here for 6 a.m. That's about when we have sunrise. Sometimes it's a little bit before, sometimes a little bit after, depending on the season. So 6 a.m., 7 a.m., which is actually, if you look at the clock right here, he's pointing at it as a 7 a.m. So, and that's where I see my sun. So I'm gonna keep going, 7, and you, I know you're not gonna be able to do it right now because you only can see the video, but then in the next slides, you should be able to do these by yourself. 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and then when the sun is right above us, so when we see the sun and we look up and it's right above, so remember, like if we're in recess time, when it's recess time, if you look up, the sun is right above us. So that means that it's noontime, so 12 p.m. And so after that, it starts p.m., right? So it's the afternoon. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and then bye-bye sun. We don't see it until the next day, right? So that's why we see the horizon here, which is the line. We don't see the sun anymore. It's nighttime. That way we don't see the sun across the sky anymore. So again, good thing to remember, if you look at it, you have to think, wee, and then the sun likes to do ew, because it goes from east to west. All right, so now the strategy that we really have to remember this time. So we will point our pencil, and again, if we would do it on paper, we will be able to do it a little bit better, but I know you can't, you guys are gonna absolutely get it during Pear Deck. So I'm gonna use my highlighter to first point the sun ray. So the sun beaming on my object, which in this case is a tree. So I'm gonna go from my eraser, I'm gonna go from the sun and I'm gonna hit the object straight up, just like that. And remember that my shadows like to go the opposite way of my object. And right about sunrise and sunset is when my shadows are the longest. So if I go and my ray straight up points at the shadow, my sun is in the east. So that means that my shadow has to be on the west. So notice how I'm following the path of the pencil. And because the shadows are dark, I'm going to use it with a black line, or in this case, if we were on paper, it will be with our pencil. So this will be with highlighter, and then this part will be with our pencil. So our shadow is right about here. And there you go. That's how we do our strategy. Keep going on the next slide so that you can keep practicing. Remember, first, you label west and east. 2, you do our clock. So remember, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, so 6 a.m. all the way until it's nighttime. And then step number 3, you're gonna do the highlighter and your pencil strategy. Good luck, you got this.